Welcome to the Insiders Audio Noughts. Uh, Here we are down where I am, Matty. It was a sunny Tuesday with a strong southerly wind. So we were nearly tapping, I reckon, 17, 18 degrees. So that was pretty epic. And yesterday, myself and Paulie went down in Dhaka and we didn't need jackets.
That's epic. We've had, for the first time in a long time, that same weather here. Blue skies pretty much all day. Had a sick Dawny this morning. Absolute mental one. And I have to tip and nod to Harry Timpson's surf coaching tips. I sent him a video of me going left, and it was an ugly sight. And he gave me a couple of pointers, and I surfed this morning and caught. I only went right this morning because I've had enough of going left, and maybe caught some of the best waves I've caught in a long, long time. Like, like I felt so locked in. Anyway, so yeah, good mood today. Blue skies, sick waves. We've got swell for like I don't know how. It's just non-stop at the moment. It's unbelievable. I love it.
It's stuck to the horizon. These are the weeks that you dream about. Even though I've been a little bit through the wars, Matty. I Last week I was out with a cold. It wasn't really extreme cold. I guess I got away with it, and we had bad weather. Like you get trapped inside in winter. Like my son had a cold. I was home with him. He was home from school, and it's kind of hard to avoid it. And then it come on, and it was just like I've been out of the water probably. I think it was 9 or 10 days, which is a long stretch in winter. You got to try not to get out of the water, don't you? With the cold weather and the thick wetsuits. And I went back in on Sunday night. And it was kind of pretty big gittery, and the tide got too high, and I just didn't have a great session really. Just when waves didn't come to me, and it kind of broke. And then I've been talking to Paulie saying let's go to Mundaka because honestly, if you're in Europe, you feed and if you're a surfer following any surfing, we've just been bombarded because it's been non-stop down there. It's been non-stop like everywhere, but this is a groomed um, spot which needs big swell. And the wind's been southerly for probably over 2 months now, which is offshore for down there. So I woke up in the middle of the night, like we said we were going to leave early, and I woke up with a tinge in my lower back. Well, I don't know where it come from, and it was a bit stiff, but like you can't pull out from your trip, can you? Kukukor, you can't pull out.
Never.
So I knew I wasn't pulling out, and then I couldn't get back to sleep. And it was turning in my mind because last year I'd had a bit of a problem with it, and it was for a month or two. It was just annoying, and I thought you don't want that when you're going to Mundaka. So then I didn't sleep the whole night. So I go to pick Paulie up about, I think it was about 7:30, and I was like, fuck, I didn't sleep much, and he'd been up as well since 4:30. Because if you're going away, you're just up, aren't you?
Yeah, excitement levels kicking in.
Yeah, yeah. So we went down there, and by then maybe it was all right for my excitement levels because I was thinking about my back instead of what waves would be like because we weren't really sure how big it'd be. And we got there, and Paulie's like, we're not checking. We've got to get out there before the low tide because we'd come around the corner and we didn't see any people out. So we get changed, get our boards out, like fins up and everything. I go to shut the boot of the car, and it won't click in. The lever, the lever that goes into the
Yeah.
pond is jammed. So I'm unlocking the boot, unlocking the car, locking it, shutting it. Nothing's working. And Paulie, I could see he didn't care one bit. He was like, oh, we'll just check it after. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm pretty loose too. I can get away with it if you've got a froth on. So we went out there. Luckily, that's another story. But later on, we come back and no one had broken into the car.
It's always
Uh,
you. It's always you.
uh, well, it wasn't me. It was the car. The
No,
car's
but
new.
it's always your trips and always something you're doing.
That's what I was going to say that. But
What board did you ride?
I rode 6.5 quad, the yo.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
in tail. But I'm telling you, it's a really hard wave. I hadn't been down there for, I don't know if it was 8 years or 10 years. And rest in peace, Timo. Last time I went was with Paul and Timo. We went
Yeah.
in the Euroglass van, had tapas after, got a couple of good waves, but it wasn't that great that day. And this day looked shit when we paddled out. But then the tide switched. And like Paul and I both got like two or three waves straight away. Nothing good, but actually standing up at Mundaka is already a victory. With and within 45 minutes there were 60 people there, which wasn't crowded compared to normal.
Yeah.
So this, I'm the layman's version of a Mundaka trip, so people understand what you're going to get if you go there. You're going to get scraps, and you can't really be rusty. Well, I felt a bit rusty after the cold and everything, and it took me a little bit of time to get into it. By the time I felt like I was into it, there really was a pack into it.
Yeah.
So, fuck, man, I saw the best barrel I've seen in I don't know how many years, and I thought it was maybe Nacho, but it wasn't. And the guy was paddling back out past me, and I've really got had a New Year's resolution this year just to be as nice as I can to everyone, not just in the surf or anything like that. Like I've just turned the street, and I said to this guy, he's Spanish, but I didn't have a crack. I just went guapa, and he's looked at me, and I just said that was a hell wave, mate. And he got such a big smile, and I was like, and it wasn't Nacho. I was like, that was a wave of the day, man. He goes, oh, I might get better, and he was so stoked. But like, I'm talking full stand up, double arm grab, goofy footer,
And you don't know
and
who it is.
no bottom, like 20 meter section deep in a cascading, like it was insane. And lo behold, like 5 minutes later, I saw this natural footer coming through this thing, and I was like, there's no way he's making that with chandeliers dropping. And like it wasn't that big when we got there. It was like 3, 4 foot. But then the sets with the incoming bigger tide turned into 6 foot. And this barrel was insane. And you could hear people whistling. And then later in the session, back at the car park, Paulie says to me, he says, hey, I saw a Ritz get the best barrel I've ever seen him get, and maybe one of the best barrels he's ever got. And Paul was like freaking. He's like, I'm going to send him a message. I'm going to send him a message. And then like we saw it come out today on Surfline and Surfline Europe and a Ritz. So we'll try and I put it already on our story.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you can maybe grab something on, he got
Yeah, for sure.
the whole bank.
It's a mental one. Even from it's like a Surfline Rewind camera, and it still looks absolutely mental. It sounds sick. I mean,
It does
I've
it does it does it no justice on those cameras, even though it looks good, because it's like
yeah,
3 times as big as what it looks on the camera.
yeah,
And I said to Paul today, he sent that to me, and I said, yeah, I'd just seen it. I said, I think hands down, Aritz is the best surfer in Spanish history. I think made the world tour,
yeah,
beat Kelly, if I remember, at Chopu. I've seen him surf in Hossegor where I thought he was going to hurt himself. He was hitting the lip so hard backside. At Christmas, he was getting 15-foot bombs at one of the Basque right premium big wave spots, and then getting tubed. He can do it all, and he's
yeah.
still doing it, and he's still in full form. Like he hasn't lost anything.
No. I've seen him up close and personal at the Quicksilver Festival a couple of times, and he is elite, absolutely elite, and seems pretty core as well, quite unassuming, doesn't like nothing too wild about him, but he just seems to froth and surf a lot, and like you say, he can do it all. Is a hell rider. He's sick. He is so sick. But I have to say, Daz, after after the last week, I've had too many lefts. I think I'm done for lefts for the year. I had a I had the
Keep
opposite of
going left, Matty. Keep going left.
I had the opposite of you, where you had a trip to somewhere beautiful. I and no disrespect, but I had to do a work trip up to Wales to see Pat Landon Dark, who's one of the best in the UK, if not Europe. The guy is, and he's a legend as well. And it couldn't be more opposite to Mandaka. I'm looking left, and there's a steelworks there, like super industrial. Had to do a rock jump on the slipperiest rocks. They were literally like covered in that green slimy seaweed, and it was pretty sketchy. But and it was just a left wedge, and there's I was like, I honestly was hunting for a right, and it would have been straight into rocks, and I still was hunting for it. But had a really sick time up in Wales going left, and then Sunday there was a swell south coast of us. Missioned it down south coast, and it was all lefts because it's like a rocky reefy type thing down there, and it was all lefts, and it was fun and stuff. And I was like, oh great, I've gone left now. I can just go right for the rest of the year, and nothing else matters.
There you go. Well, put this into perspective as well. After we got changed back out of our wetsuits, and I'd worked out, and by there's about six, open the doors, lock the doors, unlock. I got the boot to shut. We went back and checked, and there was maybe one or two more sets left, and it was all over. So there
Right,
was
yeah,
literally a 3.5 hour window. Like that's why it was never an incredibly successful WCT event because it's just too hard to run there. And honestly, if you're a lot like if it broke 8 hours a day at least, visiting surfers might get a crack. But
yeah.
like it, like that wave of Ritzes, I didn't see another one come through like that. There were
No.
some good waves out there. There were some really good waves, but that was like the best wave, obviously, and he was on it. And Paulie said to me, he goes, I think it was his first wave. So
Probably.
So, I mean, it's you never ever, there's no real silver linings for the traveling surfer apart from you got to go to these places and just accept the scenery. I had a really good talk with Paul in the car. We talked about our sons, talked about our fathers. Uh, it's a surf trip. So, I
Yeah.
mean, what we didn't talk about, which is pretty good, but me and you might talk about, we didn't talk one bit about pipeline, and I don't think we spoke one bit about John Florence.
Yeah, and they usually go hand in hand, don't they? Let's maybe start with John. What a fucking gaslighter. All like to be honest, when I saw Medina was coming back, I was like, okay. When I saw John was coming back, I was like, sick. This is it. Like we because I love the fact that he's doing his sailing and stuff, but we don't see enough of him. And and I've missed watching him surf in the last 12 months. And you get these little drops on Instagram of like some of the waves we spoke about in previous episodes, and you like the guy is unbelievable. And I was like, all right, he's back, and the year's all set up for him. And then J-Bay drops off tour, and then John drops off tour. It's like that's like getting a dagger twice for for me especially. And yeah, but little silver lining, I have Stab have done a really good article on it. And there is it looks like a Yeti series is going to come out, a three-part series about his whole year last year. So hopefully we get more John. But yeah, I mean, I can't criticize him. If I was him, I wouldn't be on the tour. I'd be doing it.
I
So
I was happy.
yeah,
I'm dead set. I was happy. I was actually. Well, everyone's got their own preferences or periods in their life where they want to watch this or that. But I was happy because I remember a couple of times last year seeing, and I don't follow many surfers, but I follow John. I've said that before, and I was just like, that's like makes my heart warm. That this dude's fucking doing
living.
it away from other people, and there's a really hard period in your life for a normal person when you've got young children. It's 24 hour around the clock like surveillance And if you've got a normal job and if your missus going, it's just surfing gets put a fair way away, and so does adventure,
Yeah,
because as much as people try traveling with kids, this is a little bit different for them because they're in a like a uh, it is his home, the boat.
yeah,
Because when you're traveling with the kids, it's not so easy because then if they don't go to sleep, you know, your life becomes hell. Where John and then his missus wants to do it with him.
yeah,
Fuck, man, it's just I think it's just shows that that's what surfers or humans can be. That they don't that we don't all need that constant limelight and victory because fuck,
100%.
you don't. I'm against the concept of. I love watching the tour and everything, but the thing of being the best or being the richest or being it's just
Yeah.
not necessarily what the human race needs or people in general for your mental health.
Yeah. The interview that Stab have done with him is I read it and I'd highly recommend reading it. It's because some of the stuff he says in there is really eye-opening about, like they said to him, like, would it be any different to you from winning six world titles to three? And he's like, no. He was like, well, it just gets to the point you're just adding numbers to numbers. Like, and he was like, I want to create memories, I want to do this and that. And I'm like, yeah, like 100%. Also, you mentioned his kid. Can you if he does this for another year, his kid's like a toddler now. If his kid if he does it a couple more years and then maybe has a break and then does it again, the education and the kind of experience that that kid's going to have is going to be unbelievable for him. Rather than just being like, I guess normal and going through the system as such, that kid is going to know because he will become obsessed with that type of stuff. He'll be reading forecasts. He'll be reading.
You don't know. But up until four, Matt, up until four, kids, babies, and kids, they don't need that social aspect, which is it's a complicated situation for a young parent. At the time, I always remember thinking, "Oh no, my son doesn't see anyone," and and you try and put, and young parents do. You see it at parties; they want to join up with other parents with young kids. So, but a little kid and a babe, they don't. They just want their parents.
Yeah,
Full stop.
yeah,
That's it.
100%.
They don't. They're not craving for social activity. Like everything else is new looking. So this kid, until he goes to kindergarten, which was what 5 or 6 in Hawaii. I don't know. For like he's better off with his parents. They
Yeah,
they don't. They don't. He doesn't have to go into a nursery, children nursery, get sick from all the other kids that
yeah,
are around it. And honestly, fuck, what a lifestyle! Like, just hats off to him, and good. He's not alone. A lot of people like
yeah, yeah,
live like that. It's just if you're following, and people are following the rat race, and not just the rat race in work, because if you were born in London, like people like to slag people off in cities, fuck, it's not their fault if you're born in New York or if
yeah.
you're born in London or if you're born in, like they didn't choose to be born in Moscow and get a job and everything. They're doing their best. But if you're not, and you can actually enjoy that.
And like you say, it's not new. People do it in different ways. Like obviously he's doing it on a boat, but there's a lot of people. Correct, I might be wrong, but like pretty sure that Jack Robinson had a kind of not similar, but kind of similar upbringing where they lived in a RV or whatever, like a caravan, camper van for his youth, and used to just travel up and down and travel Australia. They obviously weren't sailing places, but he had from what I understand, he had a youth that was pretty much like that, where he wasn't like fully in school or fully around people and stuff like that as well. And I mean, he seems all right, but
From the 50s, let's say, to the 90s, it was financially nearly viable if you saved up and you had your house and stuff like that. The problem is these days, like, it's easy for young kids, and I hear it a lot. And sorry, young kids, if you're listening, but I'm a young adult saying, yeah, like work-life balance or whatever, which is all well and good if you're fucking staying at your parents' place and they're the ones paying rent like my son here. He's got free rent, right? But if you've got to pay rent and you got a young kid, you're not going to travel around
Yeah.
the country. Like, how are you going to feed them unless
Yeah.
you've got money? Where John has got the money, and let's be honest, he's got a lot of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the fact that he's not hunting more money, even though maybe he's making more money anyway, but he's not going. The fact that he's actually enjoying the fruits of his labor has made me happy.
Um, yeah, John's done well for himself. So fair play to him. Big tick from us. Moving on.
Obviously, like yourself, sorry, Matty, I would have liked to see him on tour, and I would have liked to. I think it was that John Gabrielle like rivalry, but I've come to the realization that that's in the past, man. Those dudes, like, we don't even know. Gap could come back, like, wash my mouth out with soap. He could come back and win the world title, but he's not. It's not. It's the law of the new. They got replaced.
Yeah, I wondered about this when I was hearing some people saying like, "Oh, we're not going to see the showdown with Gabby and John."
They
I don't
maybe
think
weren't against each other anyway.
I was going to say I don't think we were going to, and I especially don't think John's that guy. Like when people compare it to Andy and Kelly, they were both like,
Competitive.
yeah, competitive animals. Whereas, and what we really need, if they want that, is let's start talking about it's like Ethan and Griff, or like
I reckon it's Ethan and Jack
yeah, yeah,
against Gabriel and Yago. That's pretty good. Like, well, look, the Brazilians are the goofies.
yeah,
Toledo's still there too. There's a big asterisk on Toledo whether he can take out any of these crew on a full year tour with three heavy water spots
yeah.
like Tahiti, Fiji, and Pipe. Like, there's a lot of storylines that are coming.
The big one, especially, is Jack and Italo because there's actual history there. Like Jack's paddled over him, paddled under him, pulled him back, pulled his arm, like, and I think Jack's been a bit of a dog, if I'm honest, to the way he's been towards Italo. And Italo is still up there. Last year he had an absolute melt show on the back half of the year, but he started the year and people were almost giving him a world title after four events. So yeah, I don't think the John and Gabby storyline is a missed storyline. I think it's a myth more than anything else. But yeah, moving on, we mentioned Pipe and we wanted to talk about Pipe. We're another lay day today, I think. It's right about the call now, so not 100%. But couple of interesting first days.
Yeah, I kind of was. I did send a message. I kind of agree with you somewhere about. For a minute, I agree with you about all those Hawaiians being in there because it just felt like there was a lot. But it is the birthplace of surfing, etc., etc., and it does get to show um, if the other guys are good,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah,
Because this is a place that, like, when it's going to be big and barreling, like, do you want to have four dudes out there and no one being
yeah,
able to go? But the fact by having that's why I come to the realization as well. The fact that it's having a couple of Hawaiians in the heat, I think it's an extra motivation for a challenger dude to step it up and say, okay, that's where he's sitting. Or if I don't go, he's going to go. So
yeah.
there you go. And
And I'd much rather a Joey Johnston or a Mason Ho than a uh, Yago or a Felipe
yeah,
turning up because they're already on the world tour. But it did it. Funny enough, what you just said was proven because one of the heats I watched um, was David Silva was in the heat with um, I think Makana Pang and another Hawaiian, and then there was maybe an Aussie, and David Silva. I think his heat totals were one. Like, and I was like, yeah, like you're on the Challenger series and Pang's not, but out there he was surfing rings around him.
He's such a good surfer, McCann Pang.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a good tube rider, such a cool looking little guy. It's just fucking unreal. Morgan Sabilik in the next round really impressed
Yeah,
me. So did
yeah,
Jordan Cousineau, and obviously Cowley. Cowley looked great. Got barreled backside. He hasn't had to go left yet.
yeah,
He still could win the comp, but there's a lot of good guys still in there. I think
yeah,
Benji Brand's maybe still in.
yeah. Benji's in. Taro Watanabe surfed really well in his heat. It was actually
Oh,
that was a sick heat because Taro Watanabe was in, and John Pizell was in the booth with Ross Williams, and they are obviously super close. And Ross Williams just gave Pizell the worst time. Like it was all banter, but I'd say go back and watch that heat if you can. It is hilarious. I usually kick in commentators, and those two were great on it. But yeah, there's amazing heats to come, and there's been some really amazing surfing as well.
Liam, a few of my favourite Aussies are still in it. Liam got through, Jake and Wilcott, and they all got through in dodgy conditions. It was
Yeah,
went from perfect to shit. I stopped watching it by then. It was nearly midnight, and I had to get up the next day, so that wasn't too dramatic for me. But there's some really good heats.
yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. And yeah, my favorite heat of probably so far was the Jordan Cousineau, Charlie Kivron. They both made it through. That
Unreal.
that was quality. But you now look, like we said about the specialists and some of the CT surfers being in it and stuff like that. And like you heat one of the round of 32, you got Joey Johnston, Morgan Sviglic, Baron Mamiya, and Carlos Munez. Like that's a stacked heat. Then Cole
What
Hausman,
about
Jack.
the what about the one right down the bottom? There's two really good Aussies and two really good Hawaiians. I think it's the heaviest heat of the round.
Well, I mean, there's a couple. Like there's you're probably thinking of Seth Moniz, Shion Crawford, Liam O'Brien, George Pitter, all in the same
Yeah.
heat. And then, but there's also Mikey McDonough who got a mental one. He's in a heat with Benji Brand, Callum Robson, and that Luke Thompson. And that Luke Thompson in
South
the
African
on the
kid.
first day got the best score. And then you've got Charlie Kivron, Ian Gentile, Winter Vincent, and Griffin Colapinto. Like every heat is absolutely stacked. There's not a
What a
walkthrough.
what a great comp to watch because it's got a
Yeah.
couple of CD dudes which have added spice. It's got incredible locals and it's got the challenger dudes who never get a crack out there. Did Leo get through?
No.
Didn't get through. Neither did Kanoa.
No.
The
Yeah.
conditions weren't good for them, but I can understand they wanted to surf like if it had been great pipe, they would have been out there four guys, which they don't get, and they know they've got to surf pipe later this year. So the more heats they get out there, the better. But like you never know if it's massive. Benji Brand's a chance. Like he can
100%.
surf a heat. He can
Yeah.
surf. He can go backside too, can't he?
Yeah, there's some serious picks still in that comp. And even on I mean I was gonna say as well on the women's side, there was like Molly Picklum was unbelievable. It's up but like in the next round, the last heat of the round is Katie Simmers, India Robinson, Sierra Kerr, and Sophia Medina. Like that's a heat and a half. And then I mean you've still got Erin Brooks in the draw, you've still got Molly, you've got Sophie McCulloch, you've got Sally, you got everyone there. Moana
Sophie
Wong.
McCulloch, even that wasn't necessarily barreling. She looked really good, and I did hear that she got a help hit after the event or something like that. I pulled into a big dredging closeout, so I'd be still backing that the actual pipe girls like Katie, Molly,
Yeah.
Erin
Betty
Brooks,
Lou.
Betty Lou,
Yeah.
Moana, like it's going to be. Let's hope it's going to be a really good finish to the competition. Let's hope that the winds cooperate with us. Let's hope my nephew walks quickly behind me. There he goes. He's coming to Morocco with us next week. Huh?
Nice.
And
Yeah. Pipe's on its way. We've got swell here for days. I've been just cooking with the waves and working like and also now it's got to that it's a bit sketchy, but like outside it's 38 minutes past 5 at my time right now and it's still light. So I can
same for us. It's like what is it, 6:35 and we're still light. So you could potentially surf. So it's February. There's probably guys surfing
yeah,
as as I speak. Hey, quick shout out because they were one of our original supporters, the guys from Simple Wetsuits, and Jamie come past the cafe this summer. He was doing I think he was doing like a European marketing tour with Mackenzie
We
Bowden
just did a
about.
trip, yeah, just doing some content, I think, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he come past on the way back, and he I think he stayed overnight. And we had brekkie, we had an afternoon thing. We had brekkie. He went surfing, and I was telling him about the 3-2 that I got that I'm still in conspiracy theory, pretty sure it was a 4-3. And he said, no, it's just a 6-3-2. He said, wait till I'll send you one this winter if you want. And I was like, yeah, we'll wait and see because I don't want to I just want to know what I need in your wetsuit quiver to fill a hole. And I didn't have a 543 no hood because on a warm day here, like imagine today, it's it's 15 degrees. You don't want an integrated hood. Yesterday I had on my Whistler one, the big thick one, with the integrated hood. I had to take it off, man. It was hot because you paddling against a thick grip. So that's
Yeah,
why I like the little slip-on thing because you're not so hot. And fuck, the wetty is insane. I thought it was going to be too stiff, but
yeah,
actually the arms aren't too stiff. I think it's got like an extra flap, which actually it allows the arms to not be so
yeah.
thick. But the internal, no water come in at me Jats crackers, which is what I've been
That's
having trouble. You don't want water coming in on your
yeah,
Jats crackers. And I was that lucky that he also sent a couple of organic teas. And I'm not just saying this as a salesman. There's nothing better than a smooth, soft. I got it on now. T-shirt. Look at that. Yours. They got a sick little logo with a little blue dot.
yeah,
But like I don't know, some teas start off smooth. We'll see. And after a few washes,
yeah.
they end up with fairy balls. Uh, but a smooth t-shirt, oh, that's good. Instead of the crappy ones that kind of stick to your skin or scratch on you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, like strong wetties, can't complain. And top guys, they're the thing about the simple guys is they're surfers, they're out and out surfers. They've done trips to Scotland, they do trips to Ireland, and they
Couple of
back
movies.
their teams. Well, yeah, a couple of movies like, and I'm all for that. I'm all for as much as great product, and it is. I'm all for the fact that Joe, what like they're as core as it gets as well. So
That's it for our listeners and then potential consumers. You pick your brands that align with yourself and what you think. If you're looking for a small core brand, these guys represented it. If you're looking for like a multinational, because there's nothing wrong with supporting Quicksilver because they're able to fucking get the big riders and make sure everything's still happening. Pick
and they
what you
do
think
support their riders.
aligns with yourself and
Yeah,
fucking it's what you can do. And there's so many good wetsuits now on the market.
100%. And like today, the last couple of like the last week and so, I've been relying on my XL suits because Cornwall's still not cold at all. Like the wards are still warm, and my 5 mil XL Comp Plus is it's a joke of a wetsuit. Of how flexible it is, and the thing dries rapidly, and that is
That's a
so
bonus, isn't it? You need something that dries quickly. You've got to get it out quickly when you get back home, rinse it, get it out, turn it inside out, and get it
yeah,
into a dry indoor spot.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Coraz and yeah, sick. Like excited to see the end of pipe. Excited to see
Hey,
what comes.
before we run out of time, matey, Cook or Core pulling out on a surf trip because you got an injury.
Now you've always got to go.
You just got to go if it's a last minute injury, haven't you?
Yeah, just got to go. End of day. Finish it. Done. End of episode. You go, and like
And you be happy for the other person and hope
yeah,
they get the bombs, which is what happened yesterday. Paulie hadn't surfed for a month because he had a cold. He cleaned up, fucking stoked.
good on him.
All
On
right,
your
mate.
Paulie.
Thanks
Enjoy
for
Morocco.
thanks for having me. Yes, family trip, no board. We'll see how long that no board
Wow.
procedure stays in place.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.